Thanksgiving is a holiday that most people have nice, warm memories of, spending time with their family, eating too much, and getting into arguments about politics with your one uncle. However, overconsumption and festive feelings can lead to a lot of spooky and disturbing events over the course of the Thanksgiving holiday. Let's talk about some disturbing things that have happened over Thanksgiving. Hey, spooky people, it's your best friend Kenny here. And like I said in my intro, we are going to talk about some disturbing things that have happened on Thanksgiving. This is going to be part of our Thanksgiving week, our spooky Thanksgiving week. So get excited, everybody. We're going to upload more than normal this week so you can have lots of spooky, disturbing content to watch while you ignore your family. Before we get started, make sure that you are subscribed to this YouTube channel, The Spooky Lawyer. And if there are any spooky or disturbing stories you would like me to cover, comment in the comment section or send me an email, thespookylawyer@gmail.com. All right, everybody, let's get spooky. The Thanksgiving Ghost of Geneva, New York. The Thanksgiving Ghost of Geneva, New York, supposedly appears near a railroad bridge in Geneva, New York around Thanksgiving. The figure is often described as a man in white, frantically waving his arms and sometimes letting out chilling screams. He also asks for you to pass the cheesy potatoes. So you better have some cheesy potatoes on you. The ghost is often associated with a tragic train accident that occurred at that location, and possibly a fireman who lost his life. Although the connection to Thanksgiving is unclear, it might be linked to the idea of spirits being more active during the holidays or times of heightened emotions. This is a story from the local folklore of Geneva, New York. And as always, there are skeptics that don't believe in ghost stories. Some skeptics believe that this is a story that originated from a real accident that has been embellished over the time with supernatural elements, and also believed to be a cautionary tale meant to warn people about the dangers of the railroad. There was a significant train accident in Geneva, New York, known as the Marsh Creek Casualty, or the Geneva Disaster, in 1879, and this involved a train derailment that resulted in the deaths of an engineer and a fireman. The engineer's name was Charles Bult, and the fireman's name was Augustus Sipple. Local folklore, the embellishment of real incidents, and adding paranormal or other types of elements to these stories is something that frequently happens in ghost stories. And there are witness accounts that have seen this ghost. So, whether you believe in ghosts or not, that's up to you. But personally, I like hearing ghost stories, and I would imagine that you do too. Do you remember the movie Operation Dumbo Drop? This is similar, except with turkeys and in Arkansas. The Yellville turkey drop is a controversial event that takes place that used to take place in Yellville, Arkansas.
There's been a lot of controversy and a lot of misunderstanding about the annual turkey drop in Yellville. We thought we'd show you what it really looks like. First, a small plane flies near the Yellville Square and one turkey is thrown out. The turkey is alive, wild, and he flies.
2 years ago that the Humane Society came in and created quite a stir, and course, the FAA had to come up and investigate, and they do have rules about planes flying certain heights, and we are trying to stay within those rules and guidelines. Because we felt like the Humane Society had not been here and had not seen what actually happened, so they were not knowledgeable in what they were complaining about.
After the drop comes the chase. The turkey drop is especially popular with the young folks in Yellville, but they're not always the ones who catch the turkeys.
Unclear how often it took place. I've seen sources say for many years. I've seen other sources refuting that. But it was once an official part of the town's annual Turkey Trot Festival. However, since it's been condemned by animal welfare groups and is no longer officially sanctioned, and generally condemned by pretty much anyone here. This is pretty weird. So what happens is, or what would happen was, live turkeys would be dropped from a plane. During the event, live turkeys are dropped from a small airplane flying over the town square. Spectators would attempt to catch the turkeys as they fell, believing that they could keep any birds that they caught.
He just landed right, real easy, right out here in the middle of the field, and we all ran over here, and I was lucky enough to get him out here in front of his lady's house.
The turkey drop is just one part of Yellville's annual Turkey Trot, an event that started back in the 1940s when wild turkeys were nearly extinct in Arkansas.
Now, this is a cruel and inhumane practice. Turkeys don't fly, and dropping them from a plane is terrifying and can cause them serious injuries or death. The FAA has also expressed concerns about the safety of the practice, both for the turkeys involved and for the people on the ground. The event garnered widespread criticism and negative publicity, and many people called for it to stop. The Yellville Chamber of Commerce officially stopped sponsoring the turkey drop in the mid-2010s. Yeah, that's right, mid-2010s. Despite this, however, some individuals have continued the practice unofficially, with pilots dropping turkeys anonymously. Now, I don't understand how a pilot does something anonymously. Now, isn't there supposed to be records, flight records? So shouldn't they be able to figure out who the hell is dropping turkeys on people? This is one of those things where the locals or the older people in the area claim that this is an important tradition, and other people say, no, this is a disgusting practice. I fall on the side of this is a disgusting practice. Also, I think it's real dangerous, but I'm a lawyer and I see the danger in this kind of stuff, but I really don't think you want to get smacked in the head by a falling turkey or hit in the face by a falling turkey, not to mention just, everything else going on there. It's horribly cruel to the turkeys. You probably have all sorts of filth, and, they're birds, so they're not exactly clean animals. I'm just saying, you probably shouldn't drop turkeys out of airplanes and try to catch those turkeys that fall out of airplanes. The Thanksgiving Day 2009 Jupiter, Florida mass shooting. Now, unfortunately, there's a variety of mass shootings that occur on Thanksgiving. But, we live in the United States and there's mass shootings that occur every day. So it makes sense that there would be mass shootings that occur on Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving Day in 2009, Paul Merhige attended a family gathering in Jupiter, Florida. After dinner, he went upstairs and returned with 2 handguns. And he then shot and killed 4 of his family members. His twin sister, Carla Merhige, his twin sisters, Carla Merhige and Lisa Knight. Lisa was pregnant at the time. His aunt, Raymonde Joseph. His 6-year-old cousin, Michaela Sitton. And he also severely wounded his uncle, Patrick Knight. The exact motive of the shooting remains unclear, but it's believed that Merhige had a history of mental health issues and harbored resentment towards his family. He reportedly felt like an outcast and was jealous of his sister's success. Marriage fled the scene and became the subject of a nationwide manhunt. He was eventually captured in the Florida Keys after being featured on America's Most Wanted.
Basically, he was located on the second floor of a small hotel style setup in the Middle Keys.
The lead from America's Most Wanted came in, ironically, the same day an episode aired.
He pled guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder. And he was sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Now, this is just a tragic thing that occurred, a tragic, senseless act of violence. And even more tragic to think about it happening on Thanksgiving. But, obviously, you should never be involved, or it's terrible that anyone should ever have to be a victim of a mass shooting. And again, it's an example of why we need better mental health care and better access to mental health care in our society. Oma Nelson. The Oma Nelson case is a doozy that took place in Costa Mesa, California on Thanksgiving in 1991. Oma Nelson was a 23-year-old Egyptian model who had recently married Bill Nelson, a 56-year-old pilot. According to Oma, Bill had been abusive and had SA'd her. On November 28, 1999, Oma killed Bill in their apartment. She stabbed him with scissors, assaulted him with a clothes iron, and ultimately strangled him. Afterwards, Oma dismembered Bill's body, cooked his head, and boiled his hands, supposedly to remove fingerprints. I don't think that works, by the way. She then used a garbage disposal to dispose of some of his remains and mixed other body parts with leftover Thanksgiving turkey. Hopefully no one went looking for leftovers at that house, right? Oma was arrested and charged with murder. Her defense was that she suffered from battered woman syndrome and had acted in self-defense. The prosecution portrayed her as a calculating murderer motivated by financial gain. The details of the case shocked the public and received significant media attention. She was eventually found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 27 years in prison.
Oma Nelson killed, then chopped and cooked her husband's body parts over Thanksgiving weekend in 1991. Nelson is due to appear before parole commissioners today at the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, where she is serving a life sentence.
Now, although Oma claimed self-defense, she apparently had a history of manipulating and exploiting older men for financial gain. Oma has been denied parole multiple times and remains incarcerated. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel, like, share, comment. Hit the bell if you'd like to receive notifications. Go ahead and follow me on Blue Sky and TikTok. My username is AKBrews. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. My username is AKBrews there also. If there is a spooky story you would like me to cover, send me an email at thespookylawyer@gmail.com. If there are any spooky TikToks or spooky videos, you can always just tag me in those videos too, if you're shy, or send them to me, and I'll look at them and cover them. I hope you guys have a great holiday, great Thanksgiving. As I said earlier, we're going to be doing some Thanksgiving content this week, so there should be more coming, and I hope you enjoy it. I appreciate you watching my video. I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. And as always, stay spooky.